Hello and welcome to Talk Sport on Global Television. Time for us to look at the exciting world of sport and the big stories making the rounds. Transfer news everywhere as Manchester United looks to get a top striker from Spain. We'll be looking at who that top striker is, and one left fullback is moving to the Galacticos. Talking about Afonso, he'll be moving to Real Madrid, and not just the one man they've been searching for. We'll also be looking at other big stories around Super Falcons in the news this morning as we look at all the exciting stories making the rounds in the world of sport. I'm not alone. I've got Odi in the building. Good morning, Odi.
Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, viewers. It's an amazing time. Today we've got lots of stories packaged for you guys. So you just join us on this ride for the next hour.
All right, it's going to be an exciting ride as we look at all the big stories that are making the rounds in the world of sport. Let's begin from home. Sweet home is where we're going to begin from when we look at the big stories. But we'll be looking at not football just yet. We'll begin with athletics as one woman is burning the tracks with her speed. And talking athletics, the big story tells us about the quarter miler, Omolara Oguma Kinju, is the latest golden girl of Nigerian athletics following her heroics at the just concluded African Games in Ghana. In relay events in Africa, Nigeria stands tall as the undisputed #1 country, and expectedly sports-loving Nigerians globally and in the neighboring West African country Ghana were anxiously waiting to celebrate another golden finish as Team Nigeria's 4x400 meters mixed relay team comprising Emmanuel Ojeli, Patience Okon, George and Sikiru Adeyemi and Oguma Kinju was about to compete in the final of their event in Accra. So it was a very exciting one as we've got a new queen on the blocks, and this means a lot to Nigerians. And I don't know if Odi has some special liking for women with special speed.
Talking about women with special speed, this woman is so amazing, despite the fact that her other teammates didn't, kick off the race at a very good pace, but she was able to do what? Cover up for both her teammates lacking, and then was able to beat the Botswana who was leading the track, and then becoming first to be able to win the gold medal. It was an amazing run for her. She took off the jets, like you said. She really did took off the jets.
Do you think there's something about the Yorubas always coming out with speed? Does it have to do with their mala and the Wedu factor that makes them put on special speed?
Well, probably it's part of it, and then again they said the Yorubas are not good fighters, so they always run when fights. So probably that's one of the reasons why they have quick feet. They always seem to run whenever Kasala won't bust. They'll just take off.
All right, this is a new one. Now I know why they run really fast. So we had Fashuba and Cole running really fast. But I want to say congratulations to the new queen of the tracks. She's been amazing, and Omolara, and we hope that she continues burning the tracks. All right, let's move on to other big stories. Fans are talking this morning as fans have taken to social media, the platform X, to criticize Omar Sadiq following a reported row with interim manager, talking about the Super Eagles interim coach, Finidi George, after the Real Sociedad forward unused in Super Eagles 2 friendlies against Ghana and Mali during the international break. Nigeria beat rivals Ghana 2-1 last Friday and then lost 2-0 to Mali on Tuesday in Marrakesh in Morocco. Sadiq didn't play a single minute of both games despite the absence of 3 key strikers. We had Victor Osimhen out, Victor Boniface and Taiwo Awoniyi all missing the game, but Sadiq didn't still find a place in the starting lineup. The disappointed striker reportedly declined a handshake from Finidi after the defeat to Mali, which irked some fans who questioned the 27-year-old's professionalism. It's usually normal for players to feel slighted if they do not get the chance to go on the pitch, just because they love football.
Yes, just because they love football, and actually, if they don't get to perform and play, it demoralizes them. Even if you don't start, but you tend to enter, you feel a little better. But not playing at all, it sits differently. Like, it doesn't sit right with players. So Sadiq Umar, reacting the way he did, I expected him to, as a professional player that he is, he was just expected to, it's just a handshake. Shake them. Probably later you talk about, you know, your ill feeling of not participating in the game, despite the fact that the top strikers were not around. So for him to react the way he did, he felt, since this person's Victor is not around, Victor Osimhen wasn't around, Victor Boniface wasn't around, and Awoni, maybe he felt like, okay, he would make an impact, given the fact that he wasn't used when we won the first game against Ghana, and then not being used again, you know, twice in a row. Probably didn't stick right with him, but at the end of the day, it's just for the team to be united, and then beginning to have these issues. We don't want to have glitches like this coming up while we have a World Cup qualifying matches that we need to start preparing for, given the fact that we're like third on the table with just 2 points. So all of this right now, it's not what the Super Eagles need.
How does this affect Sadiq Umar in terms of going forward? Yes, we do not have a permanent coach for now, but do you think this is going to affect his chances of being recalled to the national team? But also, if you look at the flip side, Ibrahim Gusso is from the northern part of the country, and we can't take it away. There's this ethnicity thing when it comes to football in Nigeria. Do you think this is also going to count against Finidi George?
I don't think it's going to count. It might count, but and on the other side, it might not count. So maybe Finidi George had his reasons why he didn't, you know, play him for the 2 matches. But with Sadiq Umar be called upon again, like you said, we have this ethnicity and all of that. He might be called upon. I won't just categorically say that he would be called upon, but there's a chance that they're going to call him back. So about Finidi George now, he's definitely going to answer questions why he didn't put him, because Sadiq Umar is a big striker, a very good player who is doing so well in his club side at Real Sociedad. So he needs to like answer questions why he didn't put him in the match. And then for Sadiq again, he just needs to be professional, because, you know, things like this happen.
All right, let's hope that rift will be sorted out. Talking about Sadiq Umar, who didn't want to have that handshake with Finidi George for setting him out in the 2 international friendly matches that went by, especially the fact that we lost to the Eagles of Mali. All right, let's talk about female football. We're looking at the big story concerning the Bafana. They've got Bayana, I beg your pardon, they've got a date with the Super Falcons of Nigeria to ensure or to decide who qualifies for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. So the big story says the Bayana goalkeeper, Kellen Stewart, admits playing against the Super Eagles, who are African 9-time champions, is a Herculean task, but says she and her teammates are ready for the crucial final Paris 2024 Olympic Games qualifier against their familiar foe. Both sides have forged an intense rivalry over the years and are seen as the toast of Africa following recent successes. But it's been the South Africans who have won recent battles. Bayana beat Nigeria in the last 2 meetings. The 2022 Women's AFCON in Morocco and the 2021 Aisha Buhari Cup in their own backyard tournament that Bayana went on to win. Looking at the current mode and confidence of the Bayana, the Super Falcons, facing Bayana, who they know have beaten them twice in a row. How key is this rivalry? How tempered are we likely to see this game, knowing fully whether whoever wins the first leg is one leg into the Olympics?
You know, I know the Super Falcons are actually aware of the importance of this match that they're about to play, these qualifiers that they're going to play. And given the fact that, you know, South Africa has beaten the Super Falcons twice in a row, it's more motivation for the Super Falcons to go work and then do their homeworks. Come on now, they are the 9-time champions. They wouldn't allow the Bayana to beat them 3 times in a row. And now there's more at stake, which is getting a golden ticket to fly to Paris and go and play in the Olympics. They wouldn't want to give away that chance. I feel the Super Falcons are of advantage given the fact that the first leg will be played in MKO Abiola Stadium here in Abuja. Since that will be happening, we will be hoping to get a win, not even a draw.
You don't think there's going to be like extra pressure on the Super Falcons to deliver the goods, and in the course of that pressure, they might make mistakes?
These ladies have been in situations like this, you know, in bigger situations like this over the years. So I think they are professionals, and then they'll be able to manage the pressure and them managing the pressure. Number one, it's that they are home already. They are on their home soil, so they should be able to manage the pressure, given the fact that they'll have the fans supporting them. If we get a win, if the Super Falcons can struggle and fight to get a win here in Abuja, I know it's going to be less of a tax if they are going there. But what they will need to do there just to see if they can get one more goal and then defend properly so that the tickets will be secured for them to go participate.
Oh, let's look at how crucial these qualifiers are. Just 2 legs. And we know the South Africans could be very, they play antics, and officiating is very key to decide who qualifies. How key, how high importance will it be for the Ibrahim Gusau-led NFF to deploy all tactics or antics in the books to ensure that officiating favors the Super Falcons right here in Nigeria, so that whatever happens in South Africa, we should be halfway to Paris?
You know, at the end of the day, I would just expect that everything is being done in the right way, not off the books. Everything should like go with the rules of officiating a football match. So if that happens, and then the Super Falcons get to play right and follow the rules of officiating, getting the best of the best officiators to come officiate, obviously they should do well, and then they should have, you know, a little bit of advantage, given the fact that they are home, to be able to play and then win. So the same thing should be done in the FA, South African FA, that rules are being followed and guided, because most of the times in Africa here, we tend to, you know, have all these glitches. If you travel to a certain place to play, you would have issues with officiating. If you're in a certain country, the officiating will favor you. So all of this now is something that CAF needs to pay attention to, because this is very, very crucial. And officiating, it's part of what, you know, helps the success of the game, because if officiating isn't right, players won't be motivated. You know, we don't want to go deep, but a Nigerian home-based referee was suspended for a goal that was cancelled. That was during the Nigerian Professional League just this past weekend. So NFF and then the local leagues are actually paying attention to officiating in Nigeria. So I'm sure that same level of expectation and very accurate officiating will keep happening in the national level.
Let's look at the Falcons in terms of Coach Randy Wardrop. He did invite one player from the under-20 side that did well at the African Games.
Yes.
Sekirat, yes. How important is it that he's trying to mix youth into the team, and how would this galvanize the Falcons, especially playing a very speedy and tactical Bayana? You
know, Shakira, during the just concluded All African Games, she was excellent. She was excellent. So I was not surprised seeing her being called upon by the Super Falcons coach. Yeah. So I wasn't surprised, because she did excellently well. She's a defender, and then having her now and having those experienced defenders too, it's going to help her grow in her career. And at the pace, she's young, as you said, she's young, she's from the under-20. So the pace now, we need someone who is as young and smart, you know, to be able to tackle the speed that the Bayana ladies will be coming with. So that is the reason, that's one of the reasons I say the coach had to invite her to help those other experienced people. So that mix up now with the young player and the experienced player, I think she's going to be a perfect fit for the lineup.
All right, let's, before we leave the Super Falcons, very key game, April is already upon us. April 5th is when the first leg comes up. Yeah. We've seen over time, the female folks do not have the amount of support in terms of people storming the stadium, being full to capacity when the Super Falcons play on, like when the Super Eagles are in action. How key is sensitization, publicity, stunned by the NFF, and sports programs across Nigeria to drum up support for the Super Falcons to ensure that they get the needed results right here before we go to Pretoria?
Yeah, it needs to happen, because now, just like we're doing, we've been mentioning this matchup coming up for like 2-3 weeks now. So publicity is very key for our Super Falcons to go ahead and then perform properly. So I think, you know, the supporters club of Nigeria here should be able to rally around, you know, let there be flyers or something, and more publicity should be done in the radio houses, not just, you know, sports programs, other programs, maybe pop-up ads on social media should just keep coming up. So everybody would be aware, because I know that we've noticed across time that if it's not the Super Eagles playing, you know, it's not out there. There's no much expectation. But these ladies are actually 9-time champions. If you tend to look at it, they've won more championship than the Super Eagles. So they should all come out, and then we should all come out and then support them. Basically, it's just playing happening here in Abuja, and then, you know, a lot of supporters are expected to come.
So we're urging all Nigerians to come out and support the Super Falcons. That's April 5th is the date when we have a date with Destiny. I will face the Bayana of South Africa, and we urge everybody to go out there, wear your green, white, green jerseys, go out there, especially the women, go support your gender as they seek to qualify for the Olympics in Paris. It's been quite a very long time, almost 1 decade we last went to the Olympics. So we'll be wishing our darling Super Falcons the very best of luck when they face the Bayana of South Africa at the MKO National Stadium in Abuja here. All right, let's move on to the foreign scene, and where it matters most. The big story is coming from Anfield in Liverpool, where they say they never ever walk alone. All right, let's see. I guess they'll be walking alone this time around when it comes to getting a new coach, because Xabi Alonso is definitely not leaving Bayer Leverkusen anytime soon. So definitely Liverpool, you're walking alone this time around. All right, the big story says that Liverpool have been dealt a serious blow in their search for a new manager when Xabi Alonso, the front runner for the job, turned them down. The former Reds midfielder, who's 42, had been strongly linked with replacing Jurgen Klopp at Anfield, but he now plans to stay with runaway German league leaders in Bayer Leverkusen. The bombshell leaves the Sporting Lisbon manager Ruben Amorim as a leading candidate alongside Brighton's Roberto Di Zerbi. Amorim, who is 39, is expected to be giving an interview after he scored well on Liverpool's data test. Bayern Munich had declared their desire to recruit Alonso, perhaps a tactic to unsettle Leverkusen's title tilt. But club president Uli Hoeneß said yesterday he would be probably impossible to bring the Spaniard to Munich this year. Meanwhile, Liverpool's recruitment drive, led by new sporting director Richard Hughes and CEO of football Michael Edwards, now focuses on Amorim and Di Zerbi, whose Brighton side visits Anfield on Sunday. Let's look at this big story. Xabi Alonso obviously is staying put at Leverkusen. How big a blow is this to Liverpool, who he played for Liverpool, made name with Liverpool, especially that Champions League comeback and eventual winning. How bad would this hit Liverpool? You know,
I think it's going to hit not just Liverpool, also Bayern Munich, because, you know, it was said on this same very show that Xabi Alonso was in talks already with Bayern Munich, and then those conversations were not concluded yet. So obviously, it seems he has made his choice, and then he's deciding to stay. Like I said, I told you I would want him to stay back in Bayern Leverkusen because of what he has built so far, and then going for a second run of the German title. So looking at Liverpool now, I know Liverpool may be feeling kind of disappointed because of the history that they had together, championship run, Champions League run, Premier League run, and all of that. So I think it's a blow at Liverpool's face, but it is what he is. He accepted to stay in Bayern Leverkusen because he has something good going on there. And with the way it's going, with the way...
Do you think there's a little bit of scarcity, or like Alonso a little bit not very sure of Liverpool, like he's scared that the challenge might be too enormous for him if he moves to Liverpool, and the fact that Jurgen Klopp is leaving a very, very tall order for him to, big shoes for him to fit in, that is making him feel like, okay, if I stay in Leverkusen where I'm building an empire already, it's easier, the pressure is lesser, the players know me and all that.
You know, the profile of Jurgen Klopp is very, very high. You know, the amount of trophies he has won for Liverpool. So Liverpool now is actually going to be looking for someone, and then even who's going to better, yes, who's just going to keep, like, you know, raising the bar higher and higher. So that's what Liverpool now are trying to get from Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso now, obviously there will be pressure. Any coach going there, even if it's Mourinho going to Liverpool now, is going to be under some kind of pressure because of the kind of bar that has been set by Jurgen Klopp. Alonso, on the other hand, is a young and upcoming coach who is not doing badly at all. You know, he has been able to take Bayern Leverkusen from, it's been decades since they got, you know, to this level in the German league, and then them getting to this level at this point, it's something that they owe thanks to him. So he has something good going on already with Bayern Leverkusen. So I would expect him to, like, you know, just raise the bar higher for himself, and then raise the bar higher for another coach that might come when he's ready to leave.
Is he making a mistake not taking the Bayern Munich?
To me, I don't think he's making
offer, because if you coach a big team like Bayern, you're guaranteed that the next club is going to come for you is either Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester, a bigger team. But if you stay with the lower team, at a point, if he doesn't succeed in the second season in Leverkusen, so all the tag is going to be, it was a fluke.
It was a fluke,
and so no big team is going to come for him. Is he playing with a big chance? But if he stays with Bayern, there's a guarantee Bayern is going to reinforce in terms of players, and he's going to deliver the goods naturally. When you have star-studded players, the likely opportunity of him winning the Bundesliga is also higher with Bayern than Bayer Leverkusen repeating the same feat next season. We saw Leicester do it once and they couldn't repeat it.
Yeah. So talking about, yes, because I was having this same conversation with someone, and then we were asking if it's actually going to be nice for him to make this move right now. So it's actually a two-way thing. Like you said, if he doesn't perform well, it's going to look like a fluke. So if he goes to Bayern, even if he doesn't perform so well, you know, other big clubs will be looking at him because of, you know, he has qualities already, and Bayern has the money to spend to get whatever class of player to come help the team win. So it's just going to be a business decision for him at this point, because I'm sure if he goes to Bayern, Bayern is going to give him a bigger check, obviously, and then if he stays back at Bayern Leverkusen, he might just get, you know, probably a little bit of raise, but it might not be up to what he'll be getting at Bayern. So I feel he wants to just stay and then try to run it again and then see if it works. If it doesn't work, then maybe I think it's a gamble for him at this point.
All right, a gamble for Xabi Alonso, and we wish he makes the right choice. But some say he should have moved over to Bayern Munich, the big team where he's guaranteed of world-class players at the end of the season. And Bayern knows how to win the Bundesliga. They won it 12 years in a row. And so if there's a one-season glitch by Leverkusen, it's no guarantee Leverkusen is going to get the job done again. Let's move on to the bad boy of football in England. Let's tell you about Sandro Tonali. Sandro Tonali, who is an Italian, is likely to escape an additional gambling ban despite being hit with 50 fresh allegations of betting on football matches after his transfer to Newcastle. The Italy midfielder is already serving a 10-month suspension set to expire on August 27th, having admitted to breaking gambling rules in his home country. Tonali, who joined the Magpies for £52 million from AC Milan in July, was given the worldwide ban by Italian authorities in October. Meanwhile, the Football Association has launched their own investigation, and they have now confirmed the 23-year-old has been charged with misconduct in relation to 50 bets on games between August 12 and October 12 of last year. He made his Newcastle debut on August 12, scoring in a 5-1 win over Aston Villa, and was first questioned in Italy on October 12. He later told investigators he had a gambling addiction. Oh boy.
Real boy.
For a player who earns much and gets into gambling, do you think it's gambling or he's just addicted to making money? Because if you earn as much as you earn playing for Newcastle, but you're still putting your money on for bet, it should be the love for making more money.
No, there's a love for making money, and then there's gambling. Depending on the level, this is 50 bets, and then
52
bets.
So he bets in every weekend.
In every weekend, yeah. That's pure gambling. There's nothing. There's no best way to like define it. If you want to make more money, there are other businesses that you can do that will give you more money while you're even asleep. You just be waking up and be saying credit alerts. But this is pure gambling. So him being sanctioned, he just needs to go back and then maybe see a therapist or somebody, because he's not black.
Can a therapist help this?
If he was to be a black man, I would say it would probably not work, because black men talk about their issues in the barbing salon. So him being white, So therapist should seek help. He should seek help, because this is a very, very, serious issue. Because if it doesn't happen, he might just end up his career, and then he will have nothing to show for it.
All right, let's see. But do you think there's a danger for Newcastle if you have a player who has a betting addiction, 52 bets in one season from August 12 to this year? Are there likely chances he might drag Newcastle into disrepute, and maybe in one of those very crucial games also throw a match away or cause a penalty because he has made people put a bet on him? And how much can we trust Newcastle's matches in the past season and this current season, especially if he does return back to the fold?
No, if he returns back to the fold, definitely every club will want a player who is physically fit and mentally fit. So if he keeps going at this pace, no businessman will want to be dragging a luggage. Definitely they will want to just let him go because of his gambling addictions. So having 52 bets from, October to this time, it's actually so much. For it to be out there, that means it's something that probably he has been cautioned about severally, and then no change has been happening. And then the matches with Newcastle are not doing so well this season. We don't know if this is one of the factors why, but we need to look at other aspects of it. So let him just focus more on playing football and then stay away from bets for now.
All right, we hope his gambling addiction will let him do that. Let's move on to transfer stories. Big stories in the transfer news is what we'll be looking at. And Manchester United is one team that needs players, and they're already not shy about making moves for players. Let's let you know that Manchester United reportedly want to buy Juventus defender Gleison Bremer for £51 million and could hand over Mason Greenwood in a shock exchange. United's interest in Bremer is already well documented, but now it has emerged that they are willing to stump up a fee in Juventus' desired ballpark. Bremer won the Serie A Best Defender award in 2020-2021 season with Torino and is also on the radar for Real Madrid and Chelsea. Sending Greenwood in a swap deal would be a bold move, but it could also help get him off the books easily instead of finding a buyer, as United have an asking price of £34 million. Greenwood together, a deal would be possible, according to La Gazzetta dello Sport. Meanwhile, Sasio Mercato claims that United have intensified contact with Bremer, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe hoping to jump to the front of the queue ahead of the summer. Meanwhile, Juventus, they call them the old lady of Turin, could technically demand more money for him. He recently penned a new contract with a release clause, but that only activates in 2025, reportedly between £51 million and £60 million. Let's look at Bremer. It should be a very important buy for Manchester United. He won the best defender in Serie A in 2020-2021 season. Now he's in Juventus. For Real Madrid and Chelsea also looking at this player, how key and how fast should United move in order to get their man?
For them to be able to get someone like Bremer, who is actually outstanding, I think he's at the peak of his career right now. If you really want Bremer at this point, you need to just go all out for him, and then be sure and be certain that you really want it, have the monies that you need, and then lock him out. Because having clubs like Chelsea and Real Madrid coming for this same player, that means he's actually worth it. And then if any team doesn't really play ball real quick, is going to lose out of signing him to another club. Mason Greenwood is also someone who is also on a high pace, doing so well in Galatasaray, playing well in the Spanish league. So this swap now, I think, is going to help, with the fact that Manchester United have said they are not willing to spend so much this season in getting players. So getting him at this stage with 51 to 60 million euros, it's actually going to be fair in the aspect of Manchester United.
All right, let's see if Mason Greenwood will be swapped with Bremer, who is in. Okay, I think we'll go for a very quick break. When we return from the break, the program continues. All right, welcome back. Sorry for that break in transmission due to some technical hitches here in our control, but we're glad to have come back to your TV screen and also continue to give you all the big stories that are making the rounds. We're talking about Mason Greenwood, likely to be exchanged for Bremer, who plays for Juventus, the old lady of Turin. And we've got Mason Greenwood, who plays for Getafe in Spain. All right, let's move on to other talking stories making the rounds. We've got a big story now coming out from Old Trafford. We already know that Greenwood is likely to be swapped for Bremer, who plays for Juventus. All right, the other big story has to do with Euros 2024. Proposals to increase the squad sizes for Euro 2024 has a crucial support from major nations as UEFA confirmed they will consider the extension. That's the big story there. England head coach Gareth Southgate revealed this week that the squad capacity for the tournament could increase from 23 to 26. And the UEFA spokesman confirmed that they are looking at the possibility of doing that. A workshop with the participating teams will be held on April 8th, and on that occasion, UEFA will listen to the views of the coaches. Any idea in this respect will then be considered and assessed. Holland head coach Ronald Koeman is among those in favor of the muted increase. Meanwhile, Germany head coach Julian Nagelsmann is also understood to be among those in favor of the 26-man squad amid the feeling there is enough backing for the squad extension to be granted by UEFA, who will be guided by the coaches. Let's also let you know that during the delayed Euro 2020, nations were permitted to name 26 players due to the implications of the strict COVID-19 restrictions. However, managers could only select 12 substitutes, meaning 3 players would be left out of the squad altogether. Meanwhile, the dynamic proved problematic for a number of coaches, including Southgate, who feared disrupting squad morale. All right, let's look at how key 23-man team to 26. There are advantages and disadvantages. For you, what are the advantages?
Well, no, the advantages, it's one for the team and then for extra players that will get called upon because, you know, when it was, you know, restricted to just 23 men, they will just have to select the best of the best, you know. Despite those need to select the best of the best, you know, to come and represent. So now, having an extra room to get 3 more additional persons is actually good. One, it's going to, the advantage here is now, is that you have rotation. Each team is going to have rotation. Even if there's a player who is injured, you'll be able to rest. And then if you've participated so much for your club side, you can be able to like take a rest and then have other persons who would play. If you tend to look at it so much, most of these players play for their club side. You know, they play in the Premier League, you know, Champions League, FA Cup, Emirates, all of that. There are different leagues that they play in. And again, they don't have much time to rest. So if they can have 26-man team for every you know, international leagues like this, championships like this, is actually welcoming development that was going to help with the welfare of the players.
All right, we're going to get the best of players. The squad, you know, numbers are increased. Let's see how this is going to pan out when UEFA meets April 8 with coaches. All right, let's move on to other big talking stories. Not every time you hear ball boys in the news, but this morning we've got the ball boys and ball girls in the news. Let's say that ball boys and girls will no longer be able to hand balls directly to players in the Premier League matches as the top flight looks to clamp down on teams gaining advantage in this way after several incidences this season. Tension spilled over in the recent FA Cup match, and the Coventry manager, Mark Robbins, was branded disgusting for taunting a ball boy at Melunu. The youngster had been taking masses of time to return the ball to Coventry players when his home side Wolves were winning. The incident shone on national spotlight on how teams have been using ball assistance to gain an edge or put away the team at the disadvantage. Elite clubs such as Manchester City and Liverpool have given direct instructions to kids in the past to make them part of the game plan. How important is this, the fact that ball boys are not going to be giving balls directly to players?
It's very, very important.
But shouldn't that be part of the game? Shouldn't be part of the fun of the game, the antics of the game? That's why we love football.
True, that's why we love football, and then it's supposed to be part of it. So now, since club sides are not actually doing, most times they fuse, these ball boys tend to, like, you know, delay passes when
their team is winning. And they know they're playing against a better team.
Thank you. They just tend to delay that. If you look at what season was it when Eden Hazard was still in Chelsea. He had to like kick the football off one of the ball boys. I can't really remember who Chelsea were playing against at that point. It was even a Champions League match. I just remembered it was a Champions League match. He had to kick the ball away from the ball boy, and then he was later sanctioned. But that wouldn't have happened if the ball boy would have just released the ball. Chelsea were losing at the point, and then it was a second leg for qualifying to, I think, what the semi-finals or something. I can't really place my hand on it. So ball boys now not handling ball to players. I know it's going to have a disadvantage, an advantage, just in case, looking like when the ball goes further, the ball boys usually go to pick the ball up and then bring it to the players. But now what happens when there are no ball boys and then the ball goes all the way far? So it's a two-way thing. It's either FIFA look into it and then make the ball boys and ball girls release the ball faster, or they have something, maybe if they'll still have the ball boys, if a ball goes out, you just pick it, drop it. If another ball goes out, the player that is want to take the throw-in or whatever will just pick the ball from where it's placed.
All right, let's see how that's going to pan out, but definitely that's part of the game where the ball boys play the 13th man for their various team, hold the ball back, especially when they know that their teams are playing against a very tough team and a few minutes to go. All right, let's take you to Stamford Bridge where they say the sky is always blue, but I don't know if the sky will be this blue after this story. But let's let you know that Chelsea will appoint a new chairman in 2027 to replace Todd Boehly. May Sport understands as part of the extraordinary agreement, the club American co-owners have passed the chairmanship between themselves every 5 years, and it can be revealed that the intention is to do just that when the opportunity arises at the end of the 2026-2027 season. Under the terms of the group's takeover, Boehly is thought to have gone first despite holding a minority stake. Clear Lake Capital, the private equity firm managed by fellow owners Bedad Boehly and Jose Feliciano, have a 61.5% share in the club's holding company, while Boehly has an equal split of the remaining 38.5% with Hans-Jörg Wyss and Mark Walter. However, the option to choose the first chairman is thought to have been connected to the terms of the 2022 sale agreement, be no negative impact or cost or interest payout from club coffers. Meanwhile, states that Bolly's group would be liable to pay any first losses in the event of realization or a sale. But Todd Boehly, would you say his first reign as the chairman of Chelsea has been productive?
Obviously, it hasn't been productive. Chelsea are like 10, 11 on the table, Premier League table, and there's a lot of crisis going on with the management. Don't know if they need to get another coach, not knowing players that they need to like let go, not knowing who. There's just so much going on with Chelsea right now, which is sad to say. And Nicholas is actually not smiling right now because Chelsea fans are not happy worldwide. So this change of chairmanship in Chelsea happening like, you know,
every 5 years between the co-owners.
Between the co-owners is actually fair, you know, giving everybody a test of being the boss, which is okay.
But does that help the team? Because there's going to be change of policies, players, and all of so that. If for the first 5 years I don't like the coach, I'm going to sack the coach, and despite how good the coach is.
So that is the challenge now. You know, it makes the owners feel good, but at the detriment of the club and the fans. People like Nicholas now, and the fans of Chelsea, they're actually not, you know, having the best time watching Chelsea football matches, you know, recently. So all of this now is something the board still needs to sit and look around and look at, because changing of this, if, for example, now, okay, Boehly came in, brought the coach he likes, you know. Sure. So if he's going out as not being the chairman, obviously, if, for example, now you now are going to be the next chairman, obviously,
I might just like a different coach.
Yeah, you might just maybe employ me to do the job. So that's just the challenge now. That's what I feel Chelsea is facing. The problem they have now is not even with, you know, the players.
Staff,
Nah, they need to like settle it at the administrative level before they can be able to now get it right on the pitch of play.
All right, well said. Let's move on. Time not our friend Afonso. Yes, the man Afonso is likely to be leaving Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich President Uli Hoeneß believes the club have almost no chance of bringing in Xabi Alonso. I think we've taken that story already, but the one we're looking at now is that the fact that Alphonso Davies' agent has hit out at Bayern Munich for giving the fullback an ultimatum over a contract extension amid the player being linked with a move to Real Madrid. The 22-year-old contract at Bayern expires in 2025, with the German Giants frustrated over failed attempts to tie Davies down to a longer deal. A deadline for the end of March has been set by the club, an issue that the Canadian agent Nedal Hause has labeled as an attack. Davies has helped the Bavarian club win 5 top-flight German titles, a solitary Champions League since joining 5 years ago, but now looks set to leave in the summer. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are understood to be favourites for his signature, as the Spanish side look to continue to recruit top talent from other European sides. For Davies and for Bayern trying to hold on to their prized assets, do you think Afonso would stay for any reason, especially when Real Madrid is calling you?
You know, a club like Real Madrid rarely calls, but when they are calling you, that means you know, Real Madrid says their club is a club for the greats. So if you're being called upon, that means there's something they must have seen, and then obviously you're a great player. So for me, I would go. Come on, it's Real Madrid. I would go, and then the thing now is just going to be like a glitch. Has to deal with the money, the financial aspect. That's if Bayern Munich will want to, like, you know, bring down or just remain on the price that they're putting on. So I just feel, you know, he would want to go, but Bayern might just want to keep him back.
All right, but Real Madrid has the money, so they will be able to pay whatever Bayern is looking for. And so let's see how that's going to pan out in the coming weeks. We've got less than 3 minutes to go, but we can't help but take this other story about Dani Alves. It's still in the news this morning. Let's let you know that Dani Alves will be killed in Brazil, according to reports coming out from Brazil by Furious Hakla on Thursday, a day after walking free free from the prison where he paid 850,000 bail bond. He's been threatened from his hometown in Brazil. The former Barcelona player was released from the Brain Stew prison on Monday after 15 months spent behind bars awaiting his trial for raping a woman in December 2022. Alves, who is 40, was found guilty in February this year and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, but he is in the process of appealing the verdict. He will do so from his home after agreeing a number of conditions handed out by the court. Meanwhile, angry members of the public vented at Alves as he sauntered through the Barcelona streets after a court hearing on Thursday. All right, let's look at Alves. He should be happy, and I think he shouldn't be going anywhere close to Brazil because of the death threat already.
You know, I don't know why players are getting death threats recently. Okay, just the same week, Di Maria got death threats, saying for his own threat is even more.
He shouldn't come back to his boyhood club, Rosario.
Like, that's not good. And him now, okay, Daniel Alves now is actually being, you know, tried in court already. So all of this death threat, I don't see it being necessary. They should just let the law handle situations like this. And where he committed a crime in Italy, why are Brazilians, you know, the thugs there trying to say they'll kill him when he comes back home? Yeah, obviously, what he did for the caliber of person is not welcoming, because a lot of kids are looking at him up as a role model. So this is really not welcoming. So I hope these are just mere threats, mere words that wouldn't escalate and then translate to what is actually being, yes. So let it just be mere words. And Brazilians, let them just let the law handle.
Take its full course.
Yes, take its full course, please.
All right, let's just, a quick news about what's happening in Belgium. Let's let you know that Belgian football has been hit with a fixed scandal after Westerlo's 1-1 draw with Genk on the final day of the regular season. Both sides went into the game in need of a point, with Westerlo looking to avoid relegation and Genk needing the same to finish 6th and secure qualification for the championship round. Genk scored in the 86th minute equalizer, and not long after, the two teams appeared to stop playing despite having an extra man following a Genk red card earlier in the game. And meanwhile, Westerlo allowed their opponents to pass the ball amongst themselves. As it appeared, both sides were happy to see out the game with the score level. Players even shook hands before the full-time whistle instead of attempting to go for the victory. Genk manager Walter Branken was spotted laughing on the sidelines, while referee Lawrence Visser was seen speaking to some of the players, appearing to be bemused by the situation. In the wake of the match, Westerlo announced that they had sacked their manager Rick DeMille. This is interesting.
Very interesting. You know, very, very interesting. Match fixing. You know, it's sad that match fixing still happens in football at this, you know, in this century. You know, and they made it so obvious that it was the match fixing, shaking hands before.
It's a game for a victory. They're just passing
the ball, and then more like a training ground. That's not what people pay for. You know, people came out to like watch and then have fun. You know, rooting for their team to win, and then them, you know, making it obvious that, see, nobody is winning this match. We are ending it goalless draw, and be 1-1 draw, and there is nothing.
Are we going to say that both teams you know, conspired to do this? And also for the referee that didn't even issue a card when this was happening. What does this tell us?
Wait, does the referee have, I think the two teams now, since they've made it obvious that it's like, you know, with the actions that they portrayed, it showed that it was a match fixing. So I think the teams now should be sanctioned. Now, the referee now, you can't just, you know, start giving cards because they are passing the ball. They've not committed and, you know, a violation that's against the game. So I think this is something that the teams should suffer for, and then the referee not to, you know, be part of the whatever it is that will happen.
All right, let's see how in the coming days we'll get fallout from that incident to see if who is being sanctioned. All right, just to let you know that Manchester United and Real Madrid are among clubs maintaining watching brief on Dani Olmo this summer. The 25-year-old Spain international is continuing to excel at Red Bull Leipzig and has a clause that becomes active this summer when his when he can leave for £52 million. Almost started for Spain against Brazil on Tuesday evening, where he was utilized in the number 10 position and scored an excellent individual goal, dribbling through Brazil's defense before finishing with a coiling left-footed shot to give Spain a 2-0 lead in their 3-3 draw at the Bernabeu. Olmo signed a new contract last June, which runs until 2027, but the clause means a number of suitors are now assessing whether he could fit into their plans for the summer. United are assessing targets across Europe as they look to improve attacking and creative options, and Olmo will inevitably be a player of interest depending on their budget and who leaves in the summer. A quick one for Olmo. Looking at the quality he has, which team do you think is likely to go for him?
Olmo,
we know that Manchester United has an interest.
They have an interest. Obviously, Manchester United and Chelsea always have this thing that they always, go for the same player. So I think Chelsea will want to go for him too. And then looking outside England, I think PSG. PSG.
I think you have a liking for PSG. All the top strikers go to PSG. All right, that's how much time is going to let us take on today's edition of the program at Talk Sports on Global Television. It's been amazing sharing all the big stories. Don't forget, Omo Lara is our new queen of the tracks, talking homegrown story here, and also Sadiq Umar being cautioned by Nigerian fans. All right, that's how we call it a wrap. Uri, any last words?
Have a sportful weekend and have fun. Do what you love doing. Hydrate yourself.
All right, go out there and play some sport. Good morning.
Good morning.